Welcome to a better adventure in Better Minecraft Plus, where everything is just better. Whether you're playing with a group of friends or especially playing solo, there's a lot to do and a lot to discover between new mobs, including dragons and enhanced mobs, bosses of all kinds, and so many different dimensions. Many new structures and biomes for the adventurer, and many new blocks to craft for the building type. In this type of mod pack, things can go from cute and cuddly and amazing looking around you to absolute carnage, chaos, and mayhem, where everything around you wants to take a bite out of you. So let's get started on episode 1. On our first day, we spawned with 3 books and inside of it, Jacaranda Forest. Not sure if we're saying that correctly, but it looks like it's right next to a vanilla jungle temple, which tells us that this is a jungle-like biome. So the first thing we do is get to the top of the trees after gathering our first bit of wood to take a look at our surroundings to see what's nearby. Then it was off to check out the jungle temple to see what kind of loot that it had. It had some okay loot, especially for the beginning of this world. We move on and travel nearby. We see a graveyard with a cursed chest inside of it. Best thing to do here is to just break the chest because it is cursed, and if you open it, it'll spawn out ghosts constantly. What we find in there is a new enchantment called Hope. Not really too sure what that is, but I'm sure we'll figure it out later. But we continue on, traveling the lands, exploring what we have, and we come across another graveyard, which we dig open to see the loot chest inside. And here we find our first set of armor and a few other things which will be very helpful for the early game of this series. It's starting to get dark out, so best thing for us to do is to go underground. It is not very safe to be out in this mod at nighttime because many things can spawn, including mini bosses stacked with armor, and we are just not ready for that. It's good anyway because we need to get supplies to get us started inside of this world. We spent the first few days down here gathering as many ores and materials as we possibly can to move on in this world, including the normal vanilla-like ones like iron and coal to platinum, and even copper is very useful inside of this because it actually can make weapons, swords, and armor. And then we also find some of the newer things like blue geodes, platinum essentials, X-petrified ores, even ender ores, which some of these things require a diamond pickaxe level or higher, along with some amethyst gems, and many, many things inside of caves as we get down to the diamond level. Once we find our first set of diamonds, we will go back and get all of the things that we can grab. Now that we've done that, we've got enough resources here to have a full set of armor. We choose to use copper because it's easiest to get. And honestly, it doesn't have that bad of stats. But before we get to search around, we figure out this new mod called Tetra, and what we can do with it is turn a regular crafting table into the work table. And with a hammer, we are able to open these geode rocks that we found. Now, they give simple things like this one gives us flint and some redstone and iron nuggets. Looks like this mod goes a lot deeper after looking at this Halo sphere, but we'll get more into that later on in the series. For now, it's time to go exploring. As soon as we step out, we get greeted by this normal looking zombie that has knockback resistance. Because when we hit it, it just keeps coming. Lights us on fire, so then we have to dip into the water. Upon searching around the area, we get close to the coast to where I find a couple of buildings posted up. By the sounds of it, it sounds like there's some villagers inside, and I really want to take a look. However, on the map you can see in the water there is a sea serpent. Don't want to mess with that guy. We have armor, but we're definitely not ready for him. So I see another one in the distance, and I want to go check that out, but looks like he's following us everywhere we go. Nice. It's almost like he knows exactly where we are. And then, yep, here he comes. So I try to take what arrows we do have and do some damage to him. Not sure if it's going to kill him or not. Then we end up running out, and he no longer wants anything to do with the water. He just wants to follow us, and now he looks like a worm. He just keeps coming at us, very reluctantly. After looking around a bit, it doesn't really seem like this is a good place to stay. There's not any animals nearby that we can farm to start gathering and getting stuff around. Sure, there's these cool elephants and stuff around, and don't get me wrong, the scenery is great, but not a place where we're going to want to start to set up shop. Not to mention, every time I go around collecting materials and put them into this chest, I notice that the sea serpent just keeps getting closer and closer, like it's got our trail, and it's just not going to stop coming. And we just don't have the arrows to deal with this guy yet. So I want to collect some things around this area and, just take advantage of everything that's around here. And before we get to go, we need to get enough material to get a backpack. And like I said earlier, there's no cows or anything around, and we are lacking leather. But I do remember that you can make rotten leather from rotten flesh, and I haven't been saving that either. So we're going to do some exploring down at the bottom and see if we can't kill some zombies to get enough rotten flesh to make the leather, to make the backpack, and then we can go on a trip and take all the stuff that we gathered with us. We also take some time to take a look at the books that we got from in the beginning, but there is so much to all these books that it would take an entire episode to go over it with you. So we'll do that in the background, and we'll start checking things off. I'm sure we'll be just finding these things randomly throughout the world as we explore on this better adventure. So for now, let's get down to the mines, grab some more things, materials for us to go, and see if we can find some zombies to kill. Looks like this cave gave us something better. As searching around, we do see some stone brick, so I decided to look into it. Maybe it's a skeleton spawner, because I hear skeletons. We open it up, and we see one skeleton, and then another one that is kind of like a mini-boss. And he goes by the name of Mr. Bluebird, I guess, the Supreme. Strong, shooting out fire arrows, but very dumb. Keeps pushing up against this stone to where he can't shoot me, thank goodness. And after a while, we're able to take him down. He gives us our first set of diamond armor, which is actually enchanted. Fantastic. He gives us a helmet with projectile protection 5, and some pants with protection 7. Wow. A little bit damaged, but we'll end up fixing that later. But even better, what we find inside the chest is exactly what we needed. Enough leather to make some backpacks and a lot of other cool things that we're going to be able to take along this journey with us. Now that we're able to make the backpacks, before we go, I need to grab a few things that I couldn't before without the diamond gear that we have now. I found some Stella blocks, which will help us make our internal Stella, which will show you why I think that it is the most OP item in the game. We also grabbed some obsidian for the road because eventually we're going to want to go to the nether. And then it is finally time to go. But before we go, let's craft this internal Stella and show you what it does. As you can see on all the stuff that's in our inventory that was damaged before, it just fixes itself to full. So it's like mending, but without having to use XP. Absolutely amazing. We're going to be using and needing tons of these along the way. We find the best direction to go, and I think it's going to be going through the jungle that we have here. We also see a couple of puppies along the shore, and I have bones, so we start to make a couple of new friends. Along with the new friends comes a couple new enemies. From the looks of it, they're called hunters, ranged attack characters, and they seem to be scared when you get close because this guy decides to try and run away. The best way through this jungle, because it is a jungle, it's probably very dark on the bottom. We are going to parkour the top of the trees in order to get past it more safely. But we have to make sure to take our new friends with us. We don't have any names for the friends just yet, but if you have any ideas or suggestions, leave them down in the comment below. What should we name these guys? After traveling for a little bit, the first cool place we run into is this rundown village, filled with a bunch of skeleton-like pillagers slash villagers, in which we take out all of them in the area. There are so many cool things surrounding us between whatever this is shaped on the ground underneath us on the map and all the different cool biomes and structures that surround us. I feel like this is a good place for us to stop and set up shop in one of the nearby houses. So since how this used to be a village at one point in time, we are going to attempt to bring it back to life. So the first build we're going to do is going to be a village town hall. I spent a lot of time clearing up the area. I don't like all the tall grass that's around. It's just a good spot for enemies to sneak up on us, whether they be small or big. It doesn't really matter. So we gotta definitely clear out this area first. After clearing out the area from tall grass, we have to get rid of some of these older village buildings that are around to make space and terrain the area a little bit to start the foundation of our base of operations. After setting up shop for a little bit, we created ourselves a little mine shaft where we got a visit by a goblin trader who actually traded cobblestone for emeralds. We were able to get 10 emeralds off the guy, and nearby was a wandering trader who was trading 10 emeralds for a totem of undying. Gotta love modded Minecraft. So now that we have the base foundation started, as you can see to the side, we might as well go ahead and get into the time lapse of finishing this build, so that way we can have a base of operations and establish a good home for us to start this adventure in. Man, that gets me every time. Shit's so sudden. It's like bam in your face, lightning. Alright, so there's the rooftop. Looking pretty good. I like it so far. We've been doing this for a while, so there's lots of things that are loaded, so tending to get a little bit on the laggy side. There's still things that I am not 100% certain on if I even like the way that it looks. And that's where you guys are gonna come into play. We're gonna have a little vote. If you want to vote, that's completely up to you. So there are certain sections in which I have made like a multiple choice type thing, and you can leave your opinions down in the comments below. For instance, like this lantern, which is pretty cool. It's more Chinese looking, even though this is not really Chinese style build or Japanese build. Kind of in a way, it's a mixture between the two. And then the Hoglin lantern, which is just made with redstone torch rather than a regular torch. And they are pretty cool. The redstone torch isn't bad, but I just don't feel like it gives off enough light. I think it's very cool that they can hang off the side, so that's also another option. Would you prefer them? Whoa, okay. And you can do that. That's pretty cool. And it swings. Hanging off the side in between. Certain things I'm not in love with. You could let me know if we should change it. Thunder and lightning always in this mod at nighttime. This section here I'm not super in love with. If you have any ideas, let me know in there. We have the right window, option B, and then option A. A little bit of windowsill, flower pots, and some fencing at the top, or just sap it around in trapdoors. Whatever we end up going with, we'll do along the rest of the entire window outline. Man, this thunder at nighttime, this mod is crazy. They summon some really nasty stuff to come after you. Really, really nasty, and they hit you hard too. The regular mobs don't really bother me too much, but when you see something covered in fully decked out iron armor, you better watch out. So, we have spent quite enough time on this episode for sure. There's still a lot of details and bits and parts that you can see behind me that we're definitely going to be finishing up. The interior definitely needs a lot of work, but we have definitely ran out of time today. So I hope you enjoyed episode 1 of this series, because episode 2 is right around the corner, and we've got 38 levels and we're ready to spend them. I just got all the farms going. The sugar cane is rolling. We got the leather going over there. We'll be able to enchant in no time. We'll check out this dungeon little thing underneath our town hall. Clear that up. See what kind of goodies we got in there. And we're going to do some exploring, because we are going to be jacked out in enchantments. And we'll definitely finish this town hall up completely. The plan for this place is to rebuild this burnt down village, so we are going to have to travel and find some villagers, and we're going to bring them back here, and we're going to recruit them, and this will be our main base of operation, the town hall here. We got plenty of space to work with on the inside. This is kind of the floor plan. You can even hear the echo in here. It's so hollow on the inside. But thanks again for watching. If you made it this far in the video, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. It really helps out with the channel, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.